Yo!
Defenses are active.
Hello and welcome to this Warno 1v1 game played on the new patch with two divisions which have changed quite a lot. We've got Skull playing 16th Belgium and he's going up against MEDDi playing 157Y. So we'll cover the deck reviews, then the map, the matchup, the deployments and the game. And as always, timestamps in the description. Right, so this is the deck review for Skull, and he's playing the new and improved Belgium, who have received some fairly decent buffs these past few patches. So let's go through it tab by tab. First things first, he's missed a trick here. Basically, there was a bug introduced in the last version, which meant that this now has 9,000 supply in a card, and it is the only supply card in the game to have something other than 6,000 supply, and it is now 9,000 supply. You see, this is still 6,000, so get rid of that and put the bugged one in, so you can get 3 cards of supply with only 2 supply cards. Then for CVs, we've got forward deployed Humvee CV, and then, 3 Sultans, and then 2 tanks. So that's also what I do. Basically, this is forward deployed, get your points on the board. This is your cheap, cheerful option, which is 3 per card, whereas this one is, it's got smoke as well. This one is slower and is amphibious and has a gun, but is only 2 per card, so it's pointless. This is a car at 3 per card, but you got a car here at, with forward deployed 2 per card, so this makes the most sense. Infantry tab, so this is the core of Belgium, is basically 3 cards of mech fusiliers at 2 vet. A very nice infantry squad. For 40 points, they do have absolutely awful AT, but they have 3 machine guns, so that's like 6 rifles, so they shoot with the strength of 10 men. Really not bad having 3 machine guns. Also, basically, there's 4 types of machine gun in this game. 7.62 and 5.56, right? Belt fed or magazine fed. For machine guns, 7.62 is better, magazine fed's better. So the best MG in the game, you're looking at it, the Saw Fallow. Now, this has some kind of weird problems because it means that the NATO Bren is actually also the best MG in the game. So, yeah, they've got 2 of the best MG in the game. Although, keep in mind that this will not shoot in the same building as the opponent, whereas a 5.56 magazine fed will. There's a couple idiosyncrasies, so the American Saw, actually will shoot in the same building and is kind of like a halfway house, and the M60 is worse than any other belt-fed MG in the game. But in general, those are the only 2 exemptions, I believe. Also, these machine gun teams work on their own kind of formula, right? So this is a lot better than this. So 3 cards of this in this, which is, it's the same IFV that the Dutch get, and sadly there's no variant with an ATGM on it, because that would be completely outlandish. That would just be so hilariously insufferably incorrect. It would just be ridiculously incorrect, The fact that World War III is happening and they put you in charge and for some reason nobody's nuking each other, that's completely normal. But putting the ATGM on this at the same time as the autocannon, because you'll note that there is actually an ATGM variant, and there it is, that's that's beyond the pale. Having an ATGM, nah. But yeah, World War III happening, that's fine. Soviet Union not collapsing, that's fine. No ATGM. So it's a shame, really. It would be really cool if there was an option with an ATGM, but whatever. Still a nice IFV. Autocannons did get nerfed, and this has been nerfed as a result of that. So they're not as good as they used to be, but it's still pretty good. Then we've got the Mech Fusilier RL-83. So this is just a way to get an infantry transported guy with a rocket launcher. So I also bring these guys, because this is the 14 HP, 14 AP, whereas this is 11, right? Still not very good, but it's basically the best you get as Belgium. And your only other options for that are reservists in a car, which is kind of pointless because you kind of want this, because this is not a reservist transport. So this is actually quite cost efficient for getting out M113s. So your only real other option for this would be like Fusiliers, which you can bring, actually. I think probably a better idea. Because they give you some forward deployment. And these are only 4 strength. Also, this goes at 90 and this goes at 100. You do lose 2 availability, but I just think they are better. So I'd be bringing that instead. Then we've got 2 cards of reservists in the M113A1B. Is that a 3 AP slot? No, it's 2. Okay. So, yeah, this is a great way to just spam out a lot of infantry. I'm just thinking about the planes, basically. What else can you get for your 2 AP? Not a whole lot. What? Yeah, so think about this, right? That was like that. Do you need 24 reservists and 9 Prevo? Or would you rather have 2 more planes? It's entirely up to you, right? But if you want 2 more planes, I would get rid of the Prevo, basically, because they don't even come in a military police car, and reservists got buffed, so you don't actually need the military police with them anymore for them to be functional. Because now all that happens is they have a little bit less accuracy, I think, and they take more suppression, whereas it used to affect loads of things. So that's something to consider. But yeah, you can also run it this way if you want. You can also do something like bringing the Milan 1. Say you want some more ATGMs. You can bring the Milan 1. And you can bring it in this so that you get... Well, this one isn't that good because it's not got smoke, whereas this one, well, it's actually 40 points, but it's got smoke. Yeah, this can work, it can work, but you might find that you've just got too much infantry, and if you do, you can remove a card of reservists, or you can remove the Prevost, and then you can remove this, and then you can get an extra plane, or whatever it is you need, but it's just an idea. And then, yeah, Milan 2 in this one, because it's got the smoke. It's just very cool, because it's got the smoke and 2 armor. And then Pioneers for the satchels. This is the hand flam patron, which is absolutely bloody useless. There's a reason they cost the same. And, yeah, the Uzi is like the worst SMG as well, so it's just not worth bringing. That's also why these guys are bad, because they've got 3 Uzis, so they've only got 6 rifles, whereas this is... 5 plus 4 is 9, basically, because this is like 2 rifles, but because it's the best one, it's actually better than that. RT, so yeah, your standard M109 howitzers, and then 4 mortars for smoke. Between your smoke mortars, this is 6 availability, but it's only 3,500 meters range, which is pretty bad. This is 4, and it's 5,625, and then this is 4, and it's also 5,625, and they cost the same. But this one aims and shoots faster, and this one, the smoke clouds are bigger, but it fires less bullets. So you see that there's not a big difference, it's like 2 seconds difference. But you'll note that the 81mm fires more rounds, but the smoke clouds are smaller of the individual projectiles, so it's not too much in it. I bring this one, basically. Tank tab, so basically one of the big buffs for Belgium was that this is now 2 cards, and this is your best tank. It's got 17 pen at max range, which isn't terrible. Unlike the German ones, you have 1 less armor, which does matter a little bit. And yeah, so yeah, you want to be bringing both cards of that. And then if you need more leopards, you bring the worst one. Also, these got 5 points cheaper, I believe. So the worst one has less accuracy and less pen, which is rough, but, it's the worst one. And then the JPK-90 can be useful, actually. It can be useful. I mean, some people say it's good, some people say it's bad. It depends what you're trying to accomplish, basically. It's good as a defensive weapon against infantry. Against a heavy tank, it's not really going to do anything, but because of the mediocre stealth, you can actually get some side shots off on people and stuff like that. So it can be quite useful. The alternative is to pay the same amount of points for this, and then this is also defensive against tanks. I can't remember which one I do. I just kind of swap between them. You could also make the case for the striker, but the striker's like a bad Humvee TOW 2, except it's got more armor and smoke, but less stealth. But this has more pen and more accuracy, right? It's just very bad accuracy, but it fires them quite quickly because it's got salvo length of 5. And then, yeah, the command tank, do you want the better command tank? It's only 5 points more than the worst one for some reason, because this is a 20 points difference, and this is a 25-point difference. So, yeah, you might as well pay 5 points more for the better one. Like, why wouldn't you at that point? Recon tab. So we spoke about this, right? So if you've got the normal Fusiliers, then you don't need these guys anymore. So you can get rid of them, and then you can get... Because they're only 4 men. It's entirely up to you. You can also do it the way you were doing. It's not the end of the world. But yeah, these guys are 8 men with the best MG and so on, and they're actually a pretty decent squad. And so, you know, this is kind of the equivalent of these guys, was it? I messed up. What? I'm changing the vet and it's changing what's pinned. Alright, whatever. So, for 15 more points, you get 1 more guy and also your recon. But you do lose 2 availability, so that's why I run Fusiliers in this tab and Declares in this tab. But you could also do it the other way around. It's not a big difference where you would run Mech Fusiliers RO83 in this tab, and then these Eclairs in that tab, but then your forward deploy's only got 4 HP instead of 8, and your Mech Fusiliers, while they are cheaper and more available, they don't have the recon power. So that's something to consider. Scimitar, very, very good. Scorpion, very bad. The drone is so useful. It lets you know where you can and can't go. It spots targets for artillery. I think the drone's a lot more useful than the Scorpion, to be frank. AA tab, so let's say you're not doing the thing where you get an extra plane. Yeah, 2 cards of Minstrels is very normal. If you need more anti-infantry, you can bring this at 1 vet. But you have these anyway, although they're not as good now, but that's just something to consider. And yeah, 12 minstrels is a lot, and if you need 10 you can do that, and yeah, so it's nice to do that. So basically you could get rid of this, because are you actually buying more than 6 Geppers? Like, are you buying more than 4? So you could get rid of that, and then you can get your extra recon. So you can get a recon healer, which is useful, but with the drone it's kind of superfluous. Or you could get this, which is exceptional optics, which you put with your tanks, so your tanks can actually see, because this is good, and this is good, whereas this is actually exceptional, so this is what I do. I forgot to mention that this is basically the coolest part of the division. This is a very fast helicopter, and they are airborne forward deployed. So they're airborne forward deployed in a very fast helicopter. You could get to some really zany places at the start and you would cover it with your fighters, which are cheap but kind of terrible. Heli tab, so this is a TOW 2 launcher, which is very normal. You can pay 10 points more to get more TOW 2s, but you lose 1 availability, and it's like, it's quite rare that you will fire 4 TOW 2s and the enemy won't have either left or killed you or dead, right, or smoked. It's kind of rare that you need more than 4, so I prefer this one as well. And then in this tab, so this rocket plane went to 3 per card, and it is very useful. At the start of the game, you use it to strafe infantry, it reloads very quickly, and later in the game, you use it to soak up bullets, because it's 30% ECM, 10 HP, and quite fast. And it goes at the exact same speed as this. So you send this one out and then send this one behind it and then bomb up the enemy AA. Whereas this one is like a different speed. It does reload. Like the bombs, it's 3-minute reload. I just don't like it, really. I mean, you could use it if you want, but I think this is better. And now that it's 3 per card, I think it's a lot more useful. Switching to his opponent's deck, we've got MEDDi. Not seen him around in a bit. I hope he's keeping well. playing 157Y. So the main change in the patch was that reservists are better now. And this div benefits a lot from that. This div is really kind of scary now. And because autocannons got nerfed, you can't kill the infantry as fast. So it is a big deal. It was a big deal. So I'm quite surprised he's only got 6 CVs. Usually he brings about 10 or 12. Maybe he's a changed man now. So between your CV options, you've got car for 80, 3 availability, or you can pay 10 points more and get more HP, more armor, same road speed, same stealth. So it's just very worth it. And the difference between these two is this one has more HP but is slower, and this one has less HP but is faster. So you can bring 2 of this, or you can bring 1 of each. I mean, it doesn't really matter. Then for supply, so we've got a massive chunky Hilo supply here, 2,000 per card. I think in 1v1s this is a bad idea. It will get there fast, but if the enemy sees this, he will artillery it, and he will see it. So I think it's better to bring this one. Carries the same amount of supply, is 5 points cheaper, but is slower, right? But keep in mind that this has to take off and land and stuff, whereas this is going to be hidden. So I think this is worse. So I'd be bringing that. And then, yeah, your only other choice of these trucks, which are a nice 1,000 supply for 40 points, very efficient. Infantry tab, so 14 men for 55 points with security, so they've got good optics when they're stood still, and resolute, so they don't flee. It is kind of a powerful anti-infantry squad, so I can see why he's brought it. The alternative is to bring something like this, which is 30 points for 8 men. You bring it at 1 vet, you still get 6, right? And 3 machine guns is like 6 rifles, so this is 11 shooty for 30 points, but it is reservist. Whereas this is 15 shooty for 55 points, not reservist. So yeah, maybe this makes a lot of sense. I'll have to try it myself. Then basically, right, the way they fixed the reservist trait was they made it 2 separate traits: reservist and militia. So if you have reservist and militia, you are the old reservists. So the Prizvniki are basically the same as they used to be because they've now got both traits. Whereas the reservisti have just had a massive buff and their point cost hasn't changed because now the reservist trait isn't as bad and the transport is still 15 for a wheeled thing and the reservist trait isn't as bad. So these guys are absolutely cracked. So there's a reason he's bringing 3 squads of them. Then, to remove the reservist trait, which is also on all his tanks, he's brought the Commandatura, so they're military police, which cancels that out. And he's brought in the BTR-70 Commandatura. So I know a wooden box prefers this one. I actually prefer this one because it's cheaper, same road speed, and it has a lower threat level. So what is threat level? Basically, your tanks automatically shoot at stuff unless you right-click. And if something with a higher threat level enters their zone while they're aiming, even if they're at 99% aiming, they will re-aim onto the one with the higher threat level. It's very annoying. What that means is that things with a lower threat level tend not to die as fast. So a tank is killing this in 1 hit, basically. And it's killing this in 1 hit. Was this 40 last patch? Was that 35 points before? Was it 40? I'm going to have to look this up. One sec, you just bear with me here. Patch notes. Patch notes, patch notes, patch notes. Miss comment. Yeah, okay. This used to cost 10 points more. Now it's 35 points for a BTR-70. So you might as well bring this one. So yeah, the meta has changed. Sorry, now my entire game freezes for 2 seconds while I tab because of that NVIDIA driver issue on my AMD card. Still haven't fixed that one. But yeah, this used to be 10 points more, so it wasn't really worth it at all. But now it's 10 points less. I think it is worth it. Because you might as well get it. Because, like, this is 30. And then this is... What? And then this one is, 35 for more armor and military. Yeah, you might as well just get this one now. All right. I'm not sure why they did that. 5 points change, maybe. 10 points change is a bit weird, really. Anyway, because like an SPW 70, how much is an SPW 70? SPW 70 is 30. So for 5 points, you get a military police. Yeah, it's very worth it now. It didn't used to be worth it. It is now. Okay. And then you've got the Uselania. So these guys used to be called Zargo Tryhards, but the Tryhard Anti-Fun Police changed their name because apparently that was a dumb name. Uselania is apparently a better name. Alright. Anyway, this is a very good anti-infantry squad. This is like 4 rifles. This is like 4 rifles. So 8 plus 7 is 15 quick maths. And they're also military police. So yes, very, very good squads. Very good squad. And yeah, you just keep this with the infantry. Doesn't come in a reservist transport or whatever. Doesn't come in a military police transport. Ugh. Anyway, regular moto Strelki in the BTR 60 if you just want like normal guys with a very nice RPG. And then BMP 1s, which are actually quite useful for 25 points, no smoke. But yeah, this is a very nice card. 40 points for very nice very nice RPG. The MG isn't that great, but this can one-shot 4 armor vehicles, BMP2s, basically. So, yeah, Motostrelki, we spoke about the Reservisti, and then you don't get a Conquer, so you're forced to bring the unspeakable one. He shall not be named. Then, this is kind of a weird one. I get the impression that he had some points left over, like 1 point left over, so he went for this. Basically, the last patch broke this, so now you've got a 280mm that deals 3.08 damage, and you got a 203mm which deals 4.91 damage, so why wouldn't you bring this? Rate of fire 1. Rate of fire, and this also has a better salvo, right? Because this has a bug where it would fire 2 salvos without following the next order. So it would just sit there and reload for over a minute, almost 2 minutes, basically. Yeah, 2 minutes. Over 2 minutes. And then it would just die. So it's just crap now. The direct fire doesn't work because they get targeted by ATGMs and one-shot by ATGMs. So yeah, you might as well bring the worst one, because it's actually way better. It's even got more rage. Oh, man. Anyway. Then if you want a normal howitzer, you're kind of forced to bring the Berig. The Berig is kind of ass, because low caliber RT just misses a lot. As in, it lands right next to him and doesn't do anything, because the splash is bad. But you're kind of forced to bring it, if you want that. I mean, to be honest, you could get away with just having this, but whatever. The BM-24M isn't that great. The rockets don't really do a whole lot. Like you'll notice 240mm 2.4, 203mm 4.91, 130mm 2.57. Then mortars for smoke. So these are reservist, but that means that they don't shoot slower anymore because reservist has been buffed. You bring it in the MTLB so they're not counter-batteried as easily. And then I get the impression, yeah, this was a 1 point slot. So he's just said, look, I need some extra stuff, whatever, I'll get a mortar. What he could have done is upvet this and bring 2 of them. And there you go. Now you've still got 4 mortars, but they're going to fire a lot faster. Because, like, do you need 10 mortars? When, like, can't this fire smoke? I mean, it might not be able to, but can't one of these fire smoke as well? So, like, do you really need all those mortars? Maybe you do. Maybe we're about to see some horrifying abomination smoke play, which would be quite interesting, actually. IS-2s aren't as bad now, because Reservist isn't as bad now, so this is actually a very nice tank for 40 points with its 3 machine guns and its, you know, same range as a T-55. Then the T-54B, which is the bad one because it's got heat. So I don't understand why he's done that, actually. This is the bad one. Why wouldn't you pay a bit more to get the TO-55, which isn't heat, has more pen anyway, and doesn't have the reservist, and also has a flamethrower on it, and has one less availability. So I'd be bringing the TO-55 instead of the T-54B. Or you can just bring it anyway, right? But yeah, this is way worse than even the reservist T-55A because it's a heat round. So it'll only the penetration will not increase with a decreased range, whereas on the T-55A, the penetration will go up for every 175 meters closer you get to the target, which means at zero range you can like one-shot heavy tanks if you hit them in the side and stuff like that. The T-54B is very bad, so yeah, I'd be bringing at least the T-55A, but yeah, I think the TO-55 is very, very, very good for the price. Then we've got these, which are right. I think he's made some mistakes here, to be honest. This is like another tank, so this is supposed to be, you know, like this, but with more range, more accuracy, but the penetration's the same at the same range because it goes up by +1 for every 175 meters closer to the target. It's got smoke, right? But generally, right, you want this. This fires 2,800 meter range ATGMs, which makes it cracked. And it's not reservist either. And you can also use it to shoot regular people, and it's not reservist, so you want 2 cards of those. And then, like, you can bring some of these tanks if you want this, whatever. Then this thing is bad. 16 pen, it's got good stealth. 16 pen, 1 HE is actually not so bad. The fire rate's not so bad, actually, but I'd much rather have a Malyutka Chucker. Like, you don't have any ATGMs here, and you've got a very bad ATG. Well, it's not that bad anymore. Do you not want this instead of that? It's personal preference, I suppose, but I'd be bringing this. I'd be sending one around the sides to annoy people, you know, stuff like that. Recon. So, this is very weak. So his tanks aren't going to be able to see anything because he's not brought this. This has very good optics though, so it can do it, and it has decent anti-helo. It's kind of a meme, really. Then these guys, 4-man RPG, and this is like, it's good stealth, good optics. This is it's an Alouette, I think, or a Gazelle. It's one of those. It's a French helicopter basically that the French let the Indians build it, and then they sold it to the Soviet Union, and then they started crashing because, well, we won't go there, but I think 1980s Indian build quality was probably not all that great. So they just gave it to the reservists. Yeah. So very light on the recon. I think he's really going to struggle to see. I think this is more of a meme than anything, but you can buy 4 at the start and send them down one road and try and make something. It just doesn't work, really. But yeah, we'll see how that goes. Because these are expensive slots. AA, so that's a 2-pointer. Right. So there it is, really. Okay, so ZPU for AA, which is the same thing as this. So what do you need this for? It's got the very good optics, okay. The Krugs, basically you want 3 of these, because what if you get counter-batteried and it dies? For the sake of 5% accuracy, you're gonna lose you're gonna lose 1/3 of your Krugs for 5% accuracy. And then you can get 70% accuracy with 2 of them and miss. Or you can buy 3 and get 90% accuracy. So I wouldn't be doing that. The other reason I wouldn't be doing that is because I'm going to get rid of this one. So this is very bad. It's really bad. Don't use that. And that's 2 AP, right? You can either bring this, which got a big boy buff and now shoots 3,525 meters as a gun. But it's more of a meme than anything. You get some very nice fighters. So yeah, and then you can come get rid of this, and now you've got 3 AP, and now you can bring this so your tanks can see. or you can bring this, so you've got more recon, or you can bring a second card of these, but just get yourself some extra recon, because there's clearly not enough here. 6 infantry recon is very low, you know, so you can get these guys, and now you've got 12, or you can even up that, and you know, now you've got 10, whatever. Or you can get this, and now your tanks can see, because you put this with your tanks, exceptional optics. You can sort of do that with this, but it's only 4 availability, and it's only very good optics, and it doesn't have smoke, and it doesn't have the armor. This is an absolutely ridiculously cost-efficient card. So yeah, I'd almost be tempted to get rid of this and put this in. You've got BTR 40s, they're not the A variant, and you've got this as your AA. Helos, so this has phalangers and lots of rockets, and yeah, why not? The guns, you're never going to be using the guns. The alternative is just rockets, but, right, so what is that? 600 ROF, and that's 267 ROF, even though it's the same number of rockets in the same places because of the way the weapon system works. So whatever, it'll shoot slower, but you need the phalangers, really, so whatever. Air tab, so this has its price go up because it's the strongest fighter in the game. It's absolutely absurd. It makes me genuinely angry to look at it. I'm not even going to explain why it's the best. You should already know by now. It's because it's got the best long-range missiles in the game, better than any NATO plane. And it's got this, which is fire and forget. This will get 2 off before the merge. And it's got these, which are the best short-range missile in the game. So better than any NATO plane in the game. Better than any NATO plane in the game. NATO has no equivalent to this except the AMRAAMs, I guess. And it also turns better than an F-15. And it costs the same as an F-15. And it used to cost even less. And the F-15 used to cost even more. So yes, I am upset. I'm very upset. Anyway, this one's absolutely absurd because it's got double guns and then these for the... this is just for killing helicopters, basically. And then I always bring this one as well, but I guess you don't really need it. So I think he's done the right thing by not bringing it. Then... what? I'd rather have the fighter than this piece of junk. What's the point in that? How much is that? 2 AP, okay. Anyway, it has to get directly over the target to drop its bombs, and it's very, very slow and has 10% ECM. So it's usually a one-way trip. This thing is absurd because it can just kill a heavy tank in one push because of the big rockets and the guns, and the small rockets don't do a whole lot, but the big rocket and the gun with the speed means that it just goes and it's got a lot of time to shoot everything at you. So yeah, it can kill heavy tanks at the start of the game. So typically you open with like 2 of these and 1 of these and a recon helo. That's a typical opener. And then the AT for killing tanks, because you do struggle against the tanks. So that's about it, really. I mean, you could get rid of this, get yourself 2 AP, but what do you even bring? You could bring the BM-24M, which isn't that good. You could bring a bit more AA. You could bring 2 more helicopters. So yeah, whatever. I mean, it's not so... It can be... it's quite cheap. Right, so with that out of the way, let's talk a bit about the map, the matchup. Two Lakes Duel, this one's been in the game for a very, very long time. Basically, the blue side is better because Ligma is closer to Zulu than Alpha is, so it's easier to go Zulu Ligma. Blue can also get forward deployed into Oscar at the start, whereas red can get forward deployed into Zulu and Oscar, but blue basically just gets better starting positions in these 2 zones. It's not actually that different. The main thing is the Ligma weakness. In terms of the matchup, so Belgium is kind of a weak div, but it's been buffed a little bit. Basically, I spoke about this more in the deck reviews, which you just watched and you definitely didn't skip. The rocket planes went to 3 per card, the tanks got cheaper, a little bit cheaper, and you get 1 extra card of each tank, which means you can bring 2 cards of the good one. And there were a couple infantry price changes. I think the Fusiliers might have got a little bit cheaper. But the main issue is that the autocannons got nerfed, right? So 157Y is basically... It's weak because of the reservists, alright? But the reservist trait got buffed. So the reservist trait isn't as weak as it used to be. It's actually a lot better than it used to be. And that makes 157Y a lot better by fixing the reservist trait, because basically all their stuff's reservist. In particular, this unit, Reservisti, is now really strong for 30 points, and this is good for 15 points, because reservists used to basically just make them useless. It used to reduce the DPS by like a third, and now it just makes you take more suppression, and I believe it reduces accuracy by 5%. So instead of losing a third of your DPS, you lose 5% of your DPS. Obviously, once you start getting shot at, you take more suppression, so your DPS goes down. But this is a huge buff to this division. And autocannons got nerfed, which is the main counter to this division. So is this division good now? That's what we're here to find out. So let's have a look at the deployment. So we've got MEDDi here, and he's rushing into Zulu. So, wait, sort of. Okay, he's rushing outside Zulu. So he's got 3 BTR-40As, so these have a little bit of anti-helo capacity. But yeah, basically the idea is the gun is kind of good against infantry. They're very cheap. They're recon forward deployed. They've got very good optics. You only get 4 of them per card, but the idea is you just kind of run them up. So I'd be trying to get them to here, really. But that's by the by. We'll see how this helo copes, if it's even in range. Then behind that, we've got the 57mm AA gun, which it's terrible, honestly. Unless they've fixed it, it might be good now. We'll find out. And then 200mm anti-tank guns, which I also think was kind of a poor purchasing decision. But we'll see. Like the anti-infantry capacity of them, 1 HE at 10 ROF with 60% accuracy is actually not so bad. And the Pen 16, so maybe I was too harsh on it in the deck review, which you didn't skip. Then we've got an unspeakable one, which is going to here. So he's very concerned about people coming down here. And yeah, 2 reservisti, another unspeakable one, 3 tanks, so they're reservist T-54Bs, which are the bad ones. I don't think they should be in the deck, basically. Reservisti, unspeakable one, you see this is going here, so it can shoot down the road. Okrana VMF, these guys are pretty decent. 14 men for 55. It is quite kind of expensive, but 14 men. And then, yeah, the 3 tanks. Then another BTR-48 coming over here. We'll see how this helo deals with that. Another sort of Razvedka for the right. 2 recon helos, just checking things out. And then, yeah, big push on the right. Because he knows, basically, this div doesn't have any airborne forward deployment, which means he's getting there second. And considering this div gets airborne forward deployed rapid helos, there's going to be quite a difference in how far these 2 guys get at the start. Having said that, the helo has to land and take off, and this has the guns, the anti-helo guns, so we'll see. CV for Papa Oscar, so yeah, no CV for Ligma. And then, yeah, another Okrana, which hasn't been pathed. 100mm anti-tank gun going here, which is a bit of a weird spot to put it in. 57mm Commandatura with the Commandatura vehicle, and then 2 reservist IS-2s. So, all in all, yeah, I mean, we'll see. Switching to his opponent's deployment, we've got Washed Skull playing Belgium, so presumably too much broken arrow. That's why I'm washed. And he's opening with a fighter. You need the fighter to make sure the helos get there. And you get airborne forward deployed helos. I think he's put them very much in the wrong places here. For starters, like this distance, you don't really need an airborne deployed helo for, but you don't get to choose the map, right? But you see how they're crossing over? That means they're going to get there slower. Basically, this one should be going to here so that it can shoot guys coming down this road. Or you could even put it here, right? Because if you get up to here, you're golden, so you put it here. But that can also be for the Humvito too. Yeah, you want something here, basically. And then you put one on this side, and then you only need 2, really. Scorpions, I mean, we spoke about this in the deck review, they are bad. If you're planning on taking this, why are these stopping here? Surely, if you've got this, you'd want, you know, one up to here, one up to here. In general, I think that could have been spent on like, that's 80 points, right? For 85, you get a Humvito too, and that could go here and cover this to make sure he doesn't get around you. And you could even try, because if you've got if one of you guys landed here, you can get the Humvito up to here, right? And then you could shoot them as they come in. Or you want it back here, really, to use the range. You can shoot them as they come in from there. Then we've got a forward deployed guy here, and so we spoke about this in the deck review. His ground-based forward deployments are only 4 men, which makes him kind of weak. So yeah, having 3 of these, and then 2 JPK-90, so he's very big on Oscar. But having 3 of these means that, like, and another one here, yeah, he's very weak on Zulu. So forward deployed CV for Alpha Zulu, no CV for X-Ray. He's very weak on Zulu. He's got 1 Mech Fusiliers, 1 Leopard A5, 1 A5, 2 4-man squads, and a Humvee Tow 2. So, I don't think that's going to go so well. Let's find out. Right, so they're off, and it's time for me to thank the generous channel joiners, generously joining the channel. They get their names on the screen, they get the videos early, they get members exclusive videos. One join at the lowest level is worth 2,000 views in terms of ad revenue equivalents, so if you're feeling bad about your ad block, it's a great way to support the channel. This is my sole source of income as I try and finish off this PhD, which never ends, because I've finished it and they're not letting me submit it. They keep telling me to change things. Yeah, that's not fantastic. Anyway, what else is not fantastic is this F-16 should be coming and killing these Cheetahs, basically. And yes, here come the 3 BTR-40s, and they're really messing up the Humvee Tow 2. Oh, it's stunned. Oh no, it's just ran out of... It is stunned, but it's also ran out of its order, so now it's going to try and shoot. I don't think that's going to hit anything. I think it's just going to die. Wow! Both can happen. And yes, this is very bad for Skull here. Basically, he just doesn't have enough here. So you would hope that his first minute's income would be spent 20 seconds ago on getting a bunch of pioneers into here, essentially. And you see the Scimitar doing pretty well. But yeah, these should fall back immediately. This one is. Sorry, this has been hit now. This needs to go. Okay, so he bought a plane. That is... Like, I mean, so you see that and you think, wow, 3 kills. This costs 245 points. These cost 30 each. And the transport's 15. So that's 75 points out of 245 points. So that's actually a horrifying trade. The idea is, yes, the plane will come back in 6 minutes, because that's the reload time on that plane. No, it's 3 minutes, I think. 180 seconds. It's not good. It's not good. On this side, it's going a bit better for him. He has taken this, right, and the JPKs should help out against the IS-2s. The Humvee Tow 2 could be brought up, I suppose, maybe behind the JPKs. So he has actually managed to hold this off. But I think the plane was a very, very bad purchase. I think he should have gone for infantry instead. And, you know, in the meantime, this F-16, he's still chilling out. He could come kill these Cheetahs. That one's still alive, right? You can also use the 240 rounds on the Vulcan to strafe some infantry. He's not done that. So yeah, this guy's very, very, very dead. He could try and hide behind this, but it's just not going to help. So that evac's due to lack of resources. The CV, you can leave, but... And go cap X-ray, I suppose. Yeah, I suppose it makes sense. But the only problem is he's now going to get a CV in here and you won't actually have anything in there. So probably should have bought a Sultan for X-ray Oscar and just left this in here. He is getting his infantry in now, but imagine if the infantry had come in a minute earlier because he'd bought it instead of the plane. There would have been 2 more reservisti here and 1 more reservisti transport, I think it was. But... all this infantry would be in here, because like right now MEDDi owns this zone. He just hasn't realized it yet because there's nobody in here. This is the main point of concern, right? Once this gets to here, it's very difficult for you to get guys in there, and that's where the helo guys can be useful, and that's where like setting up here can be useful. So yes, it's very difficult to sort this out. So taking control of this if you're red is very important. And not losing it if you're blue is very important. Another thing he could have done is sent one of his helos instead of selling it over here to check this, because there's actually nobody there. But yeah, this isn't doing anything. This isn't doing anything. That could have been 80 extra points on this side, or it could have been a CV for X-ray Oscar, and then he'd be up about 300 points now. But yeah, this one tank has made all these guys take so much longer to get in. And that's the issue with losing this part. So, not fantastic, but Skull's got this side. But MEDDi's winning on points cause... Right, so look, he's actually ended up buying the Sultan anyway. He's just sent this out because he's scared of it dying. Having said that, you know, he could have hidden it here or something. Because, yeah, that stadium's going to get in, and then he's going to be down on points by quite a lot. they can't see that, which is a big shame, I think. This guy should have moved. He should have come all the way up here. These now have a minimum range of 250 meters, so if you can get on top of them, you can they won't shoot you. But the forest minimum range is 350 meters, so you do have to be paying attention or you'll still die. That's just vanished into the ether. And yeah, that's not ideal, really. But now it's going to start shooting. So now he should see it again. And wow, it's quite rare for that to miss. But yeah, that missed as well, I suppose. And there you go. So now, like, so this guy, basically you need to clear this out so that you can reinforce. And you need to buy some more infantry and stuff. But he's buying stuff for this side. Nothing's really happening here. I can understand he's in a bit of AA, but... you know, he's losing over here, so this should be where the focus is. Having said that, you know, we do have infinite vision, but yeah, imagine if he'd sent one JPK-90 down here, or these two Scorpions down here, or if he'd pathed this Sultan into Oscar instead of buying a... No, he's just sent that... Okay, so now he's definitely not got a CV for here. You see, this was a 3-minute reload, and he didn't actually get anything that time, so it's still a poor investment. It will eventually pay off, it's just you gotta think, you know, at the start of the game, how much value are you getting out of this? If he'd bought that one rocket plane instead, it would have been 100 points less, and he still would have killed one reservisti, and it would have reloaded faster. He could even use it against like something like this, would just die to it straight away. So, yeah, so far, I mean, it's pretty even, basically. Skull is winning. But I think this could have gone better, basically. As for MEDDi, you know, he's done a good job of buying crap and sending it in. Double artillery purchase is probably not the play here. I mean, he should get it at some point, but like one artillery would be nice, and then more infantry, because he should be, you know, this should be fixed by now. If you're red, like, he's actually got enough units to just kill all this. So yeah, not ideal for blue, and now he's... You know, like, this never really did anything. It's not even looking at anything. It could even be up to here, and then he'd at least see these. So it looks like Skull's basically given up on this, and he's doubling down on this, which is fair enough, really. Scorpions are not amphibious. I've learned something. So, what to say? Like, this should be in a building, but, I mean, he's so dead. These T-54s are going to kill him no matter what, I think. We spoke about this in the deck review, so I'm not going to mention it again. You should go watch the deck review if you want to know how to get 9,000 supply in a card as Belgium. You need to go back and watch the deck review. So, SU-25HE is really only good if your enemy doesn't have any planes, or AA at all, which seems to really be the case here, because, yeah, one minstrel isn't going to solve this problem. That is sort of a Belgian strategic weakness. To be honest, so it's like the autocannons are supposed to counter 157Y, and the Leopard 1s are pretty good. It's just, so yeah, he didn't actually have it in the front thing, so that's pretty smart. And that'll be back in 3 minutes. But the, well, it's got to repair as well, so I'm not sure actually. But the idea behind Belgium is you build up a big air spam with the Mirages, and you can't really do that against this division because it's got the best fighters in the game and the Krug AA. So that is kind of tough. So yeah, I think Skull's got the right idea here. I'd unload this one here because otherwise, yeah, it's coming forward. But yeah, these things are just stupid. This Bastion thing is ridiculous. It used to be a lot worse. They made it super fast, but damn, these are mistakes that you can't be making, really. They made it super fast, and they also gave it 18 pen and super high accuracy. NATO's got nothing like this, and this is on everything. It's just stupid. Yeah, in team games especially, this is a total pain in the neck. So this is a very good tank, which is why you want 2 cards of it instead of 1, which is what he's brought. So, yeah, if you're blue, I'm not sure really. You need to get some kills. I like this idea, pushing up here. Does need a a minstrel there or something, I suppose. So yeah, pushing up back into here, and you see the power of the 203s here. They will get that kill, so that's pretty decent. Ah, okay, so he's coming this way now. So the JPKs could swing around, but yes, this is just bad news, really. If you're blue, what you can do actually is push here. The alternative would be, yeah, okay. So a bomber is that? I think he's sort of what? Right. So the reason that missed is because of this. Because he'd lost vision, so it uses an auto-targeting. It uses a prediction. And the reason they weren't going as fast as they should have been was because they got stuck on this vehicle, which exploded here. So I'm pretty sure that's why that happened. Or the prediction was just wrong. But the prediction's usually pretty good. So JPK 90 does 2 damage to T55. And, yeah, so these 57mm are actually not so bad against those helicopters. And the Leopard 1A5s generally want to be at range, but then this hits it with the Bastion, so it's a tough call, really. But in general, I think the Leopard 1A5 BEs are more than a match for these T55s. At anything except the closest ranges. And of course, at 2,800 meters, it can't shoot, So yeah, like, look. Do you see? And this, so that's, wow, 16 pen at that distance really did a number on this, actually. Yeah, so he's got the fighter up, it evac'd itself there, it stressed itself out. But yeah, there is a better AA piece he could have gone for instead of this, which now shoots 3,500 meters. These are pretty... He's actually sold the transports. That's incredibly dumb. I'm very surprised by that, actually. So, yeah, I think Skull needs to get a M109 out at some point, but he's very much got a problem here, so he needs to reinforce this. Or push this. I guess he's gone for the push this approach. You see the power of the... that must have been a side shot there. Yeah, it was, because this only has 1 HP left, because that's 4 side armor. This one shot's 3 side armor. This one shot's 3 armor. So, wow, double hit there. 50% accuracy. And then, yeah, there's the best fighter in the game. 10 points more expensive now, still ridiculous. And, yeah, Blue's push here has not gone well. So I think he would have been better off resupplying this and just shoring this up and trying to grind down the red player, I suppose. But then how do you do it? Like, you need like a big Leopard 1 blob and just use that and just ball that up and send it around. Typically you want the auto cannons to kill the infantry, which you can't do if you're fighting in a forest. In general, I think these reservists shouldn't be 30 points anymore. Because the reservist trait isn't as bad as it used to be. So, this is actually a really, really good squad now. So, yeah, it's hard. I don't know. I wish I had the answers, but I think he made his mistakes at the start, and now I think he's just very, very far behind on kills. Oh, he did actually buy the M109, which is good, but he's got this problem, and he never really... So, like, he's sending stuff in here. I guess the idea is, you know, lose this, take this, which is an idea. It can be done. It's getting somewhere, but in general, I think the trades have been quite negative. Also, he's going to lose... No, okay, it missed. So he needs to get these moving as fast as possible, because the RPG will actually... yeah, so do you see how these guys have lost cohesion there? Because the explosions actually lowered their cohesion. It's not as pronounced an effect as it is in Red Dragon, but it is still an effect. And, yeah, this is looking pretty bad, actually, for Skull now, because of this. He doesn't really have much here. I suppose these reservists could be moved up to, like, behind this building. It's been destroyed, actually. It'd have to be behind this one. Just so you don't get shot by the tanks. And, yeah, I think these were just a really bad idea in general. I don't think they should be in the deck, and I don't think he should have bought 2 of them. Imagine, right, so one of these is 2 Leopard 1A5 BEs. Imagine if he had 4 extra 1A5 BEs. Right? I think he'd be doing a lot better. But there you go, he gets 2 tanks, and he might get out, because this actually doesn't have any missiles, and it's still here for some reason. Except he's decided he doesn't want to evac this one. So he's just sort of coming back and chilling out a bit. Just doing a bit of chilling there. Alright. There's no Krugs on the field, right? Anyway, the Gepard is now going in on the BTR-50s, and there you go, the reservistas take out the Stadion. So that actually went a lot better for Blue than I thought it would. I thought he was basically done-zoed. He has actually managed to make it in here, and the howitzer, right, that needs to be shooting, right, but he has sort of made it in here. The main thing was, so MEDDi had a bunch of tanks here that he just didn't really use very effectively. That they could have been in these fights. And they weren't. Double JPK 90. You see, they don't do a whole lot. What? They really should be hitting that. Yeah, okay. That's 3 hits for 4 damage there. But yeah, they don't have recon. If they had recon, they could probably kill this. They don't have recon. This would be an absolutely juicy kill as well. Get that supply there. Here we go, mortar. So this is another thing, like mortars for smoke. He's actually sold the transport as well. He could have used some. Both sides could have used smoke mortars before now, but it's nice to finally see a mortar. It's just doing HE, but what you can do is like, okay, so these tanks are bothering me. You just well, you're dead now because of the 203s, right? Presumably. Yeah. You smoke here so that they can't shoot down the main road towards you. But in general, I think Belgium kind of... So, like, the Leopard 1s can kill the T-55s and T-54s. But at close range, Belgium's Infantry AT is actually dreadful. Which means that the comparatively high armor of the T-55s and T-54s is very difficult for Belgium to deal with. So, in this kind of situation where they're in the town, really all you can do is use the planes. And he does pick up 2 there. The Krug has been spotted and should immediately be targeted by the M109 because it's not moving. So that is a big shame, actually. But yeah, he got the tanks, so that's how you have to deal with the tanks, basically. You've got to use your planes, or your TOW2s on your helicopters and your Humvees. Oh, that was a good kill, I suppose, but I really think he should have gone on the Krug, because he only gets... Right, he only gets 2 of those because he upvetted them, but in general he only gets 3 of those. Yeah, I think Skull really needs to get some more units in here, and he can send them all the way down here if he wants, because he knows there's somebody here. So you send them here, and I believe it will automatically path that way. The other thing is he could get a CV in here, but look, it's going quite well for him. The main issue is that these don't have AT, and neither does this, so he's a bit scuppered. I suppose he could use this. But yeah, these aren't moving. This isn't moving. 2 guys in a building. And yeah, these Gepards, I don't know. I think Minstrels and Fighters just seem to do the work. You can see that was 2 upvetted Gepards shooting that and lost 4 HP. So that's a shame. You know. But yeah, these aren't moving. So presumably the RT could... Yeah, there we go. He's getting a bit unlucky with the dispersion there. Oh, that was a direct hit. So it's a 4 salvo length. Oh, it's gonna make it. It's gonna make it. I hate artillery in this game so much. Imagine, like, look! Oh, it's so stupid. It exploded right there. It doesn't do anything. And then people say, yeah, but that's 100 meters. Have you been outside? Have you been... How big do you think this is? Do you think that's like 10 meters long? Oh, man, get me out. Like, how big is this car, right? How big are cars where you're from? Do you know what I mean? Basically, they just say the ranges are bigger than they actually are. It's very frustrating. Anyway, this is back up again, and we'll get another 2 tanks. He could have tried to get behind this, I suppose, but yeah, evacing just makes more sense. And then this should be going on the Krug. Oh, it's been hit. Should be going on the Krugs, really. If you could take out the enemy AA, then you're a winner. So, like, this isn't moving. Should be going on the Krugs. So, yeah, Skull winning the air fights, but yeah, I do think he should Should be focusing these down. And MEDDi, frankly, should be moving them. He should never have sold the transports for these. He's very lucky that this isn't dead, basically. Oh, there we go. Oh, perfect, perfect. That's what we like to see. Good kill on the Krug there, and a CV. Yeah, very good kill. And look, this reloads in 2 minutes. The HE cluster reloads in 3 minutes. And I believe has less ECM. So, it's just not as good, really. But yeah, Blue's really pulling it back here. It's going very well for him right now. So, track's broken, crit, because he's bad. He just gets critted there, and he can't actually see that. And this has very high accuracy, apparently, and veterancy. So yeah, it does happen. In the meantime, the reservisties, they've got 14 pen, but look, that's 1 HP, and then it'll probably miss the next one, and it's like reservist, so it gets stunned up really fast, and yeah. I don't watch these beforehand, I just assumed that would happen. So it's actually very... Look, it missed again. It's actually very difficult for Belgium to deal with these T-54s in the towns. If you just send them into the towns. And that's a lot to do with knowing your matchup, because usually that wouldn't be a good idea. But in this case, it actually is an incredible idea. And look, this one's still alive. Big shame, really, depending on who you're rooting for. And yeah, the ESRs are losing to the reservists because they are. Reservists have been buffed now, and these guys aren't all that, basically. Even though the special forces and whatnot, reservists are just too powerful, so... So yeah, the Milan 2 goes down. And JPK is getting shot there. So, yeah, very exciting. I think he needs more Leopard 1A5s. Yeah, there we go. And, like, this CV isn't doing anything. Frankly, you should have kept it in here, but otherwise this should be next to the M109 so it can shoot faster. And he should have gone on the RT again because it's not moving again. Instead, he's going for... There used to be a tank there, presumably. So... TikTok Fighter is a lot better than these, and should just clean them up easily. But basically, you should have a bunch of minstrels. The Gepards are just not all that, in my opinion. I mean, as you can see, makes it out. So, a bit of a turnaround now, and this is the problem with playing against 157Y. They just don't run out of crap. So, they're back in the game very, very quickly with these reservisti, which are very, very strong now. So, 45 points. Right, which means how many can you buy in a minute? 90, 135, 170, what? No, it'd be 108, wouldn't it? What? 180, 270 would be 6. So you can buy 5 in a minute. And if you've got a bit left over, you can buy 6. So it's actually very, very, very cost effective. And now that autocannons have been nerfed, you can't kill them as fast. So I want to try out this div, to tell you the truth. So using a Mirage cluster on an IS-2 is not very good when there's a TikTok out. I don't know if you even saw that, but that is very bad. And sending this over that when the Gepards were shooting was not very smart either. So yeah, the Gepards, I mean, if you just fly over them low and slow, then yes, they will kill you. Yeah, so MEDDi's taken this, but he's lost this. And these back and forths are very, very funny. Anyway, this hasn't moved, and this isn't firing. So, you know, you would hope that this would shoot that. And yeah, you know, Belgium also gets reservists, so this is 35 points for 9 men, whereas this is 30 points for 8 men, and a better rocket launcher, and the MG is similar. It's like this should probably be 35, right? Because, you know, it's one less guy, okay, but the rocket launcher's better. It's got more accuracy. Like a lot more. 45% is not very high. And yeah, one of the Gepards dies, so that the SU is able to make it out. So maybe you could buy a few more, you know, AA pieces. And there we go, 2 minstrels coming in. So now MEDDi's trying to get down here, but that Scorpion that we were chatting shit about is actually in an ideal play. Wow, got both of them. 10 pen on a 10 HP vehicle. Well, actually, 8 HP vehicle with 1 armor will deal you know, 10 damage, and it's only got 8 HP. Wow, he who shall not be named, firing off the Avada Kedavra spell there and taking out that thingamabob. And yeah, the game is not really slowing down. They're just constantly running at each other. Big shame that these are still here. This is still not shooting them. This is not as important as these. That Krug still hasn't moved either, but it's not really been firing. It's not been reloaded. So you know, this could be used. Could be used. We switched it to the tanks. I really do think the artillery would be a big deal. But he's actually target switched his artillery as well. This McFusilier is going to have a bad time. This thing is an absolute killer of men. It's had so many of these tanks for breakfast. What's his name? Starikov. I'll have to remember that. Bam! Another one. Right, okay. Well, that didn't have to happen, really. Anyway, 109s. Yeah. At this point, I'd buy the second one, frankly. But as soon as he takes his foot off the pedal, a bunch more reservisti come and kill him. So he's got to be careful. And keep in mind that the transport's 15 as well, whereas the transport these guys come in is 20. It's got a better gun, but it's slower. So yeah, that gets taken out by the double. So he's got the minstrels now, and he needs to move all this. Because the arty keeps killing it, so he does need to move it all. In the meantime, he's got Berrig now. Berrig's going on the howitzer because the howitzer's not moving. And it's firing from the reinforcement road. Thankfully, artillery in this game's garbage, so it just lands right next to it and doesn't do anything. Spoke about this in the deck review. If it's not 203, it's GG. Yeah, it's a big shame, really. Like, he got 2 direct hits and it didn't really do much of anything. 3 direct hits, more or less. It does have a very nice salvo length of 6, though. So, Skull needs a supply up here to be healing up his guys. And there it is, I think, maybe. But yeah, I mean, Blue's basically stabilized this. He's got a lot of guys back here. I guess he could move up a little bit. Especially something like this could be so useful over here, but I understand the concern. It's just, this is a very mobile game, and if you stop moving, like, because he could probably, at least if he gets the eclairs up here, he'd be able to see that tank, and then maybe he'd be able to kill it, right? Like this, for example, could get up to here. Gepard's getting hit by the arty, and there's no counter battery on the arty. 3 in a building, not a good idea when you've got, well, just ever really, but especially when you've got these 203s shooting at you. So yeah, that's an obvious target. And he's moved it 1 building across now. The mech fusiliers are very good against infantry because of the 3 machine guns, as spoken about in the deck review. And with the Prevost, he's got that military police. And with the CV, he's got that extra rank of veterancy. So they really are cleaning up these reservisti quite quickly. But the amount of deaths he's taken to... There we go. He's going for the arty with the bomber now, and he gets one. He might die for it. These do have sidewinders, but they're not very good. This thing gets another kit. Starikov on the 100mm. Skidoosh. This guy has, like, max vet 3, right? He can't get any higher on the veterancy there. And he loses a few because they're all in the same building. You see that the autocannons can actually do decent damage to these if they show their side armor, and that's 5 side armor, so the autocannons are not bad. And yeah, I just... I'm getting the impression Blue's starting to run out of infantry, but he does have 24 reservists. It's just his reservists aren't as good. JPK 90 with the mediocre stealth there still gets picked off. We spoke about how these can kill tanks because of the big boy rockets and the so on. But yeah, just more reservisti, more reservisti, more reservisti. Very difficult to deal with. He thinks the CV's in there, but it's just moved out, so he doesn't get it, which is a big shame. It would be cool if he went on the artillery. This Krug still hasn't been... So this is a big mistake from MEDDi, actually. This could have been shooting at those, and maybe it hits it, and then if it does, it one-shots it. So just having it not doing anything is quite depressing. This guy should typically be behind the reservists, because he's the one making them not run away. So you want him behind, so you could shoot them in the back of the head, right? Anyway, I'm getting the impression that he's running out of mech fusiliers. HE cluster coming in for the tank. Gets the tank. And the TikTok's back. TikTok doesn't actually get him. It's quite surprising, actually. I guess I only fired 2 of these because he didn't dive. If he dived, he might have got him, but he assumes there's AA here because there was before. There isn't now, though. And the arty's firing again. Can we get the arty? Can we get the arty? No, we have to shoot another 30-point reservist unit. But yeah, you see that these are kind of good against the, you know, the, well, okay, not if you get crit like that and whatnot, but snipe through a little gap there. Wow. Some accurate reporting going on there. But yeah, it will kill all these, for example, and it'll kill the infantry quite handedly in the open. But yeah, it looks like MEDDi's pushing Skull out here with 10 minutes left. Skull's still got the reservists. I think he needs to start transferring some of these or pressuring this or something, because he's got some issues. Issue 1, he can't get his guys in anymore because of this, although MEDDi's not actually put anything here. Issue 2 is he's just being outproduced on the infantry front. So that might hit that. The main issue now is he's going to get all stunned up and stuff, and then the reservists are going to kill him, so, you know. This isn't moving. Too much broken arrow. Although you should be moving him in broken arrow as well, so... yeah, big shame there. And he lost those 2 tanks. He's just getting outproduced. There's just too much here. Skull's units are dying too fast, basically. He's not getting enough out of them. So, yeah, now he's kind of cut off. So MEDDi's on that +2. Not sure what happens now. He's trying to get back in. The mortar purchase. Yeah, okay.
Hello.
Maybe he's running out of stuff as well.
Mo subscribe to the channel.
Thank you for subscribing to the channel, Imman. Immal. So, clusters on infantry, because he's out of regular bombers, I guess. And the TikTok is there, and somehow he's still alive, but there we go, there's the next one. Yeah, and he gets him there. So, he needs some AA, really. Didn't actually drop that. That's my alarm telling me to get off the computer. And yeah, the TikTok of Doom. He's going to claim another victim with the guns. Brrr. Oh, he gets out. Okay. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know what to say in this kind of position. I think Blue's already made his mistakes, and now he's just being outproduced. Right, so those 2 Leopard 1A5s that advanced, imagine if they were still here. He'd be able to kill those. Imagine if this had died at some point, instead of killing all his tanks over and over and over again. Mr. Starikov there. You know, he could get his own smoke up. He could smoke this and try and get in that way. I guess he's just trying to kill the reservists here. As something that's important to note is that the Belgian reservists can't be upvetted, whereas these can. Although I think it goes 12-8. I know it's 8 at 1 vet. I don't know if it's 12 at no vet. Is he now shooting his own units? Okay. And here we go, the autocannons, even with the absolutely awful stabilizers, the worst autocannon stabilizer in the game, even though there are various other autocannons in this game which should not have stabilizers, but actually have better accuracy on them. Mentioning no names, but yeah, it's the Warrior, obviously. So F-16, right, he's finally managing to kill these Su-25s. And wow, would you look at that? He's actually still got motor Strelky left. We haven't actually seen any of the BMP ones. It's really surprising, actually. Typically, you want to buy these first. The amount of momentum you get out of this 25-point Maryutka lobber is really quite remarkable. It's the same as the Polish one. So it's not got smoke. But yeah, you can now get this back in here, right? Because you just run this here. Is it dead? No. Get this back in. Stop the tick. Stop the count. Stop the count. Instead, he's coming down here, but then... is that covered? The mortars are still firing. They're actually doing a reasonable something. This doesn't have AT. But yeah, he needs... so he stopped the tick, but... It's still going up at +1, right? Because there's... Okay, well, there's about to be a CV put back in here. So he needs to clean it, and I'm not sure he can really do that. Regular motor stroke, you have a very nice RPG pen, 20. Range isn't fantastic, but... And yeah, you see, this is actually a 3-vet. And you see it did some missing there at that range, so yeah, you can tell they've been nerfed, the autocannons. And yeah, just a lot of guys here that could be, I don't know, could be used perhaps, but it's difficult. He's just sending in the CVs, and yeah, there's a lot here from MEDDi. Look, it's Starikov again. Will Starikov get the kill? He's busy shooting some mech fusiliers. There we go, there's the HE bomber. Oh, he just doesn't get it. He gets spotted and taken out. This has definitely been spotted because it's getting shot at. The SC-25s are coming in, although they're not going on it, which is kind of weird. There's a second CV, but it's getting shot at as well. Tick has stopped, but MEDDi's in the lead now. And I think Blue is just... He's too far behind on the KD. There's literally nothing here. Last-ditch attempts could be buy a couple smoke mortars and smoke this and run in on this side. And, you know, get some smoke here. But yeah, the CVs have gone down. And I think it's 1 over for Skull here. So the next thing is 100 points difference, and there won't be a draw, because right now it would be a draw. You get over 100 points difference, there's no draw, so I don't think he can stop it, really. Like, he's trying to get this, but he would actually have to kill this. Having said that, this is MEDDi's only CV on the field. So if those bombers had got this, I guess Skull would have won. Because I don't see any more. It doesn't mean he doesn't have any, but he's not got any more on the field. But yeah, 157Y, not running out of stuff. I don't know about this. I think this would have been much better off being the rocket one, or the other HE bomber, the other Mirage. But I mean, they didn't die. They did a lot. It's just that the actual HE capacity of this is very low. And I believe, yeah, the reload time is quite high. Although I think the regular bomber might be 4 minutes, actually, because it's 4 bombs. I think, I can't remember. Is 4 bombs 4 minutes? We need more planes so we can check, but there's none coming. I know 1 bomb is 60 seconds, but I know that's for GBUs, but not sure if it's true for everything. So yeah, this is over, I'm afraid. 3 minutes left. He's determined to keep it going, but I just want to see how many kills Mr. Starikov got. But yeah, the problems were just like the airplay from Blue was very good, but yeah, not taking out those howitzers, not having a bit more anti-air, not playing a little bit slower, I think would have been better. Like, you just kept running guys in, and you know, sure, you're sort of a trash spam div, but not as much as 157 white. So he lost a lot of guys. I think the KD is going to be quite telling here, because look how many units he doesn't have. He's just buying these now. I mean, there's no point really. These Krugs haven't hit anything all game, but that's pretty normal. But you see how he's upvetted them and they still haven't hit anything. Well, teaches you your lesson, right? Don't upvet them, just have 3, and then you might hit something. But yeah, I think if Blue had managed to kill those TikToks, given that he did manage to kill a Krug, if he'd managed to kill a TikTok, I think he would have been in a really, really good position if he killed that second TikTok. But yeah, no smoke cover here. Needs to smoke, really, or at least use the smoke on this, but he's just fast passing it, and it's not enough, really. So yeah, I mean, with 2 minutes left, there's nothing to say, really. Looks like he's going to surrender in 5 seconds. So, yeah, that's game. So yeah, really interesting game. A lot of back and forth. Very interesting game. You see MEDDi here, ranked 75 with 258 ranked games this season. And Skull ranked 257 with 109 ranked games this season. So yeah, you know, he's got twice as many games as him. But you see, is that really as many games as he has? There's a big difference there, as you can see. Yeah, where's Starikov? Show me Starikov. That did quite well. Wow, he literally got one thing. That's Starikov. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23 kills with 1 unit. because he just kept running guys into it and losing them, and he just wasn't looking. Man, 23 kills with one unit. That could be the title, I guess. Anyways, I'll see you at the next one. GG.